Good morning, good afternoon. It is 12:30 already. It's Monday. It's art snack time. How are you? How are you? How are you? If you're popping on or watching the replay, it's a huge help if you just give a hello, pop on for a couple of minutes, say hi, check out what we have going on here. All right, so we are still in the April Flower Challenge. Super fun. Having a blast watching everything you guys are posting and sharing. And loving all of it over in the free group. Super awesome. Thank you for sharing over there and being a part of the Flower Challenge, because let me just tell you that when I come on and check out Facebook, it is a huge blessing to see all of your beautiful flowers just everywhere. All right, so if you're new here, remember Art Snacks is no more than 30 minutes. Good morning, Yvonne. No more than 30 minutes. Some fun little art techniques, different things to do. And I tend to stick to the challenge. Every single month is a prompt list, 21 of them. This month is a challenge. The more you post, the more you share, the more you put your pictures and your pretty flowers in there, the bigger your chances to win at the end of the month. Okay, so here we go. Who is excited? I'm going to flip you down. I'm working in my little mini today. Good morning, sweet daddy. Hi, Sue. Working in my little mini. Yeah, and I just want to paint some flowers with you guys today. So let me get you turned down. If you feel like giving this a little sprinkle, that's going to help a lot. Things are switched up again on the old Facebook world, so you know. Okay, so I haven't been keeping up with crossing things off. You don't have to share this picture immediately, right away at all. One thing that you might want to do is save it, just save your picture and or take your picture, share that, and this at the end. To have the grand prize, you have to do every single one of them. That's when I need to see everything checked off and whatnot. But you don't have to share this every time if you don't want to. If you want to, go for it. Go for it. All right. Let me just get some things situated here. Like I said, I'm going to play in my little journal. Because I've got some good papers in here. This is actually, see where I did the daisies. I've done a few things in here. Let me just, where do I want to play today? That's a good start to a monochrome page. Let's work, I'm working with watercolors, so let's go here. Let's go here on this watercolor page. All right, I'm going to zoom you in just a bit. Zoom you in a bit so you can see a little bit better what I am working on here. All right, hello, 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 everyone. Super simple, super fun. You can see I have my watercolors here. I have a couple different palettes, and I do have my white gouache. In my membership, we're working with pastels a little bit this month, and my white gouache has kind of been my best friend as we've started with that. You can get it in a tube. You can use white watercolor if you have watercolor. If you have the white in your pan or whatever you have, you could water down some acrylic paint. It's not going to work exactly the same, but it just gives us that nice pastel look. Okay, so I am just going to play. I think I'm going to use a little bit of a smaller brush today. I'm missing my one I wanted, but that's okay. Let's just play with some flowers. How about roses? I know roses are on there and haven't really messed around with that. So let's kind of mix up. Let me get this over here. I'm actually going to spray just helps a little bit. I'm gonna get this lovely scarlet poppy color in here. And so here, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm kind of just mixing that color, and I've put my gouache here. All right, and I know it might be a little bit hard to see with all the colors underneath, but I have just my white gouache, and I'm gonna come in, and do you see how it just makes it a little more opaque, right? But it pastels it a bit too. And I'm gonna come in, I'm kind of just grabbing and mixing. That's kind of a dusty rose color. I'm not sure that's exactly what I was going for, but I think it's gonna be great. All right. And roses, you can't, listen, if you wanna be whimsical, right, and kind of, I like to put a little bit of a middle, and then you just kind of bring a bunch of C's around, and you're just starting a little bit of a rose. Now, these are very whimsical. These are not like legit taking my time. This is my journal page. I like things to be pretty, you know, random and a little different, a little whimsical. These are not fine watercolors. I mean, watercolor painting, you do you, but this is just one easy. I'm just doing a bunch of parentheses or C's, and you kind of pay attention to where your center is going to be, right? And just kind of play off of that. How simple, right? How very simple. And then, let me scooch this over. And this is just a fun pattern page, is kind of what I'm playing with. Let's go with, let's kind of mix a little bit of this. And I've got some, I can tell I've got some gouache there, and I like my Hansa Yellow Light. Gives me that limier color. And come in again. All right. That's gonna be pretty. It's just the mode I'm in today. Okay. So I kind of kept them separate. I think I'm gonna do like, maybe let's do 1, 2, we'll just do some random bunches of leaves. Kind of do a couple with this color. And let's come down here. Yeah, I'm not too worried about going off that page. I'm gonna put 3 here. And then I'm gonna just add a little bit more of the green. You see my color I'm working with there? You can do leaves, like you can pull the actual leaf shape. These are smaller, it's a little bit hard, but you can go, you know, just touch, press, lift, and get a totally different kind of leaf look if you want. Okay, depending on what look you want. We're in our journals, we're playing with prompts. This is where we play, right? All right, now I've just got both colors happening here, and I like it like that. I'm gonna definitely pull this one here. See how quick, and this is very satisfying. Number one, we're working with, I'm just gonna put one there. We're working with watercolors, which I believe they're satisfying anyways, right? Like, they just give us a sense of accomplishment. They give us great color. Okay, see that? Like, how simple, right? They give us color, they give us instant gratification. They're not necessarily forgiving, but they are forgiving in the fact that you can kind of just play. I'm going to take a little bit of pink and put it in, and these are still a little wet. I just want some pink because I can't not have my opera pink. And I think the deep musty rose against this bright opera pink, and the same thing kind of happening with the greens. I got a deeper and I've got that brighter green, so we're putting a couple of different values on one page without even really thinking about it, right? Don't worry about having things all colored in or whatnot. Simple, right? Super simple. Let's get this dry so we can go to the next layer. I don't want to keep you with the hair dryer forever. I'm going to just touch some of these. Pretty much dry. There. Pretty much dry. All right. So there we have it. And now I am going to slide a little scrap paper in here. All right, because now I need to decide. This is one of my favorite parts. What color background? And I think I'm going to go, let me show you how my brain works and why I say you should have a color wheel, okay? So we have red and pink, right? Mostly on this page. So that's our primary. Our complement is green, okay? But what if we split complement? And I definitely have, see this? I have yellow greens in here. So for my background, what if I take it to a teal tone? Okay, that is called a split complementary. So I didn't use straight up red and straight up green like Christmas time. I'm using pinks and shades of red, and then I'm going to split that green to yellow green and blue green. Okay, if you don't have a color wheel, get a color wheel. I promise it's your best friend. All right, so I am going to, let me look here. I think this color might be, I'm kind of, for me personally, I'm sticking just with my pre-made watercolors. Let me show you the color. See that? Kind of, it's just this great, what do they call this one? It is Daniel Smith, and it's called Cobalt Teal. It's just such a pretty color, and I think that's where I'm going here. So I've got just some paint on here, and I'm just going to start, and I'm going to leave a little bit of space, okay? But see how I'm kind of jumping around? I'm going to kind of bring that. I'm going to bring this in here, and I'm leaving a little bit of white space. Not always, it's not going to be perfect, depends on how quick I go. All right, if I kind of come in and over here, get some real deep tones. See how great those colors all work together? Isn't that gorgeous? I'm going to kind of bring that around. Now I'm working with watercolors, so I'm going to use what watercolors are best for, right? I just have water now, and I'm going to just kind of pull. I'm just going to pull that watercolor through. Let's let it pool. Let's let watercolors do what watercolors do best, right? If you're using acrylics, you know what to do. You know what to do. But see how we can just kind of get a real washed look. I can come in here, pick up some of this and bring it over here. You see? And just letting the watercolor do what the watercolor does. I'm just gonna pull that right there, and we're gonna kind of come up and then we're gonna come down. There we go. And that's a nice pretty light. I'm gonna pick up a little bit more. And we're gonna bring some dark over here while I have some on. All right, and you're just gonna go around. I like to leave white space. I think it really adds to it. I'm just gonna keep coming around. And look at what that watercolor, look how pretty. Trying to keep this a little flat for you guys. I don't want that exact, there we go. Let that cool down a little bit. There we go. More water. Can you still see what I'm doing? Again, coming up. Getting in here. And nice torn papers. If you're not in my membership or you're new to Sugar Hill, these might, you know, torn papers and journals. These are the things we do in the membership. Super fun to kind of explore. There we go. Let's get that in there. I just want those to blend a little bit. I am using like a really small brush. I'm gonna take, there's a lot of paint there. A lot of pigment. There we go. I'm just gonna sneak in here. I'm gonna grab some more of that pigment. See, as I pick that up, it gives that space a little bit of white. And I get my color for up in here, depending on how I wanna do. And there we go. All right. Look at that. This reminds me of like my great-grandmother's bedroom or her living room. I love the colors. Oh my goodness, I love the colors. Okay, let me dry this quick. Because of course we're not just gonna stop there. Typically I wouldn't be blow drying, but because I'm on time constraint with you guys, I'm just kind of paying attention. Or being a little bit more. I'm just gonna grab Posca pens. So I've got 3 pinks and 3 greens, okay? And what if we just start playing? And like maybe I want to bring, and no, I'm not. Right? I am not worried about outlining each little piece. I don't want to do that. I don't know what's happening outside. What if we just put, because I love polka dots, what if I just want to put some polka dots around? Nothing has to make sense. Grab this color. You see how some of them, right, some of the colors blend right into the background, but it kind of gives it a little bit of a pretty little tone. Can you see that? I like to make my middles wherever the heart of my flower is. I like to dab some in there. It's not perfect. It's not definite. This is just a fun journal page. You can put some words over this, right? If I want. I can add a few more lines depending on how I feel about some of this white space. I like the white space, so I tend to leave a lot of it. All right, I can be very intentional and come in here if I want to really give that definition and maybe get rid of some of the white. You see? Isn't that fun? Like just a fun little page. You can come in with your other pens if you wanted. Maybe I want some of my favorite little gold hearts. If I didn't know better, I would think my son was home, but I know he's not home. Weed whacking. It sounds like they're in my front yard. All right, so see, you just keep building, just have fun. You do you. Is this the one? It is the one that I have marked. It's not wanting to work though for me. There we go. This one doesn't have the writing. See, I think the Uniball pens that have the writing on the barrel come straight from Japan and they work better. These just don't work as well, but that's okay. I don't know if I have a skinny-ish, but not a skinny. Some more dots. I'm just playing, but that was quick. You see how fast that was? And I'm not saying that every page needs to be fast, because you guys, sometimes you need to just get lost in your art journals. It's really important to not be in a hurry, especially when if I form a challenge, I want you to, enjoy the challenge, but it's not just about checking the box. It's about learning and playing with different things as you're experimenting in your page. So see, just some fun with watercolors and Posca pens. There's a couple little gel pens in there and my favorite gold marker, but super, super simple. You could keep going on this or just keep it simple like I did. All right, let me zoom back out and back up. And they're back working on the road. Let's flip myself over because I'm sure I look weird upside down. Let's see what we have for comments, if I can answer anybody's questions. Okay, sorry. Come on, give me comments. Where are you? Swipe left, there we go. Okay. So, yeah. So what did you learn today on Art Snacks? I know it's kind of sinking on me. Color wheel, mixing a couple different things, watercolors and paint pens totally go together. Split complementary, and how just a simple little page. And even if you get this done and you're working in a journal, like I have here, I'm working in this journal, I can come back to that page because I have a couple of those. Like this, I was playing on a different type of paper. Okay. It's not done. That's not my finished page necessarily, but it's a great page for me to open up to one day and be like, oh, I know exactly what I want to do on top of that. Okay. So sometimes we just have our papers. Sometimes we play, but it's not a finished exact. And other times you have what you love. You could do 100 different things here. Definitely put in some words. As 30 minutes of Art Snacks. Super simple. All right. So the journal making is something we do in my membership. That is, and I do offer some workshops as far as making journals. Okay, we build a lot of different signatures. We do a lot of different things, and I offer a lot of different things. So I don't have one way that I bind together. It is vintagey. It's like that kind of retro but vintage look to it. And I think it's the colors that definitely do that. 2 questions. What kind of paints do you use and how do you make your journal? I can't tell you how I make my journals. I can't do that for free. I love you all, but I can't do that. The classes are coming out. There are things like that. My watercolor paints are a mix of Winsor Newton, Daniel Smith, Grumbacher, Koi watercolors. Oh, thank you. Yes, Dottie is one of my creators. So Sugar Hill Creative Community is my paid membership. So yes, Jan, I haven't seen you in a while. It's so lovely to see you in here and back. I want to make sure I'm not making any more, missing any other comments. And so we did this in March. This was March thing in Sugar Hill Creatives. This month we're working on some mini floral paintings, and we're always building on a big journal. We have a joy journal. Now, Sugar Hill Creative Community is opening at the end of this month, beginning of May, kind of that in-between stretch there. We're going to be opening again. So, you know, it's something I think all the ladies can say that it's definitely worth the investment. You get a ton of, there's a lot. Plus there's over a year of making just already done classes that you get access to when you join. We definitely do some journal love. I know, Dottie, me too. I am making a few of these for a sale because I had a couple people come back to me and ask how much to buy one of my journals. So I am making some of those at the moment to put in my shop. So that's super exciting too, because it's one of my favorite things to do. If I could just sit and make journals all day, every day, and put some fun things in there, I would be so happy and it would be wonderful. But it doesn't quite cover all the bills, and I am a teacher by heart, so I have to teach, and I want to spread the love, and that's why we do Art Snacks, and that's why we do all the other things. So thank you very much for joining today in Art Snacks. Have fun. As far as the prompts, that's definitely my roses, and on my other side, maybe it's loose, maybe it's retro, because it's kind of vintage retro. They kind of go together, I think. I didn't pastel that up that much. I thought I had pattern on here, but I don't see pattern. Could have sworn I put pattern on there. Maybe it got erased and I switched it. Anyways, do you see? I kind of work backwards sometimes with that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do roses, and I might have one idea for prompts, but you got to let your creative intuition, take over sometimes. You have to allow yourself just to create. If you're working on, say I was doing, I don't know, sunflowers and crisscross. But as I'm working on my sunflower and with something else, like polka dots come out or monochrome, right? All different shades of yellows. And that's all I use in there because that's monochrome. One color and all the different values of it. Then maybe I go with that because that's what's coming out. And I don't force myself to go to crisscross because my creative intuition wants to go the other way. So allow your creative intuition to lead you, okay? Prompts are just there to give you ideas. They are not black and white specific instructions, and you fail if you don't do it. So remember that, okay? All right, everybody, thank you so much. That's Art Snacks for this week. You guys have a blessed and wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.